To go all the way, what would it mean for you personally, given that obviously being at the helm as the head coach and getting to your first cup final as a head coach?
Yeah, I think it will be a very good feeling, and I think for me, what's more important is the club and the players, and I think the players have really done well. Considering where we were last season, where we had to survive on the last day of the season and still make it in the top 8, and for them to come out and have this response and perform the way they've performed so far. But it's still early season as well. We don't have to forget about that. And I think credit must go to the players.
We'll be looking back into that cup final last year against the same team.
Yeah, just a little bit, but at the same time, I think this is a new game, and Kaitano City have changed. They've improved. As a team, there is a lot of progress. And I think Ben has done a wonderful job. They're a good team now. They're more organized. They play, good possession, good build-ups from the back, and they've got also speed up front where you've got the Craig Martins and Patos as well. He's doing well. And the complete side now, so it's not going to be an easy game. We really need to to perform for us to get a result against them.
Since qualifying for the final, coach, I'm sure this final has been on the back of your mind in terms of planning for it. Now that the 2 league games are out of the way, has it presented a nice challenge for you to maybe put together a game plan to try and win your first final?
Yeah, it is. I think a lot of players have also, we've been, rotating, especially, because I think this tournament, this cup has given us an opportunity to, have a look at all our players, because we're playing, after each and every 3 days or 4 days. So you can't play the same team, you've got to change and try and rotate, and that has given us an opportunity, to see, most of our players as well, especially the new ones as well, and also in terms of match fitness, our players are not far apart from each other, in terms of match fitness. So we will put out a very competitive team, irrespective of who plays, and we will put out our strongest team on the day, irrespective of who is available.
You also got a nice idea up front. I mean, Fred didn't play last week. James King came on, he's got a brace.
Yeah, it's always good when you have your attackers, attacking players, scoring goals. That's what you need, because football is all about, scoring goals. And I'm very happy for, Bradley, Evans, and James, for getting the goals. And that's why they are here. We want them to to score goals, and they've been doing well. They've responded very well. So we just hope that they continue.
Does the fact that Kaitano City is a relatively new side make it sort of an unknown threat that makes it a little bit hard to prepare for?
It's always been hard to play against Kaitano City. All the cup finals they've played against us. So we know what we're up for. We're up against a very good team. We know each other very well, and there are no secrets. I think the team which is better prepared mentally can be able to execute all the tactics we have on the day. So we're preparing for a very tough game, because they beat us in the Telecom Cup, in their first cup final, and we beat them last season, the MTN8, and these are the third one as well. So you can see, the trend that we've been meeting each other, quite often. So it's gonna be, a tough game.
Does having Ronwen in goals make it, a little bit easier for you guys, possibly going into a penalty shootout just like last time?
Well, Ronwen is our number 1, and if you look at the past few seasons, he's missed, especially last season, he missed about 17 games, and that kind of put us as well on the back foot. He's a very important player for us, and I'm happy that this season he stayed injury free. So I just hope that he stays also injury free, because he's very key, especially in our defense.
Bayern Munich plays with 10 players and Manuel Neuer, the SuperSport, play with 10 players and Ron Williams.
I can't go there.
Coach, you've been through a number of finals as assistant. You've got room now to sort of play around with tactics and stuff. Are you tempted at all to try something new that you've wanted to try before that you couldn't maybe instill as an assistant? Or
Yeah, most definitely. I think we've already done that, especially in our pre-season, because past season or past 2 seasons we never really had a proper pre-season because of playing in the Continental Cup, and I think I've done that, but it's still work in progress because we still a long way to go into tactically. Though we are improving, we're getting there, and that's very important that I can see the signs, in each and every game. I can see progress in each and every game, tactically, and that's what motivates me.
You're not going to make 7 changes for the final.
No, not really. No, we don't have enough players to make 7 changes. We've got quite a very small squad, which is very easy to to manage and work with. So whoever plays, we support each other. We are a team. There is unity.
And also, Coach, Benny McCarthy has been hinting about addition to the fund for final. Maybe possibly thinking about that as well.
Yeah, we've thought about it, but we're not gonna worry too much about that, because I think what's important is what we can do. Although we'll be very aware of their threat and what they can do, but the most important thing is for us to impose our game on them, and that also tries to to not to limit ourselves, because if we're gonna be focusing on them, on what they can do, then we end up limiting ourselves in terms of our strengths.
Is it a good omen that you're going back to the same pitch that you've won so many trophies in the past?
I think we will know after the game on Saturday whether it's a good omen or not.
I'm next. Coach, you're probably the only person who knows much better the history of this club with cups, better than anyone currently in the clinical team and players. Even seen the history of this club. That brings some pressure because it's SuperSport and cups. If you speak to the chairman, do you know his expectations going to this final? And just for yourself, what's your feeling, the pressure you feel? You can just share with us the pressure you're feeling, obviously. As I said, SuperSport and cups, we know the history.
Yeah, and people are used to getting into the final and getting results, winning trophies. But in football, irrespective of what you read in the papers, there is always pressure. In football, you are under pressure each and every day, to achieve. Results matter. That's important. It's a business. You can't be here and say, what, I have good time. There's no time in football. It's always about, results. Just after, the Pirates game, we put ourselves under pressure because we had lost a game. So we needed to win our next game. So that's the kind of pressure we are always in, is to try and win your next game. That's very key.
You spoken to the chairman,
No, I've spoken to him, but I know any chairman will be happy, to be lifting that trophy. So he's not different to that. He's used to that. So he would like to do that on Saturday again.
Kaitano, this go for it, Mark.
The Potosi factor is so erratic. It's hard to plan for it. Like you say, when you say they're a complete team, if you plan for Potosi, they've got Nodada, and if you plan for Nodada, they might have Teko. So it's quite a tough team to play.
Yeah, they're quite a difficult team to play. We plan as well for individual players, but at the same time, what's important is their structure, because individual players belong into a structure. If there's no structure, then I don't think individual players can be able to prosper. But we know what Patosi can do on set plays. He's very good. His deliveries are very good. No Dada is very hardworking. His pressing is very good. So those are some of the things which we are aware of individually. But the most key thing for us is their structure.
Coach, you're going into the 3rd month now in the hot seat. Is it all you expected it to be?
Well, I don't really know how to answer that, because it's with expectations sometimes all you can do is to try and prepare the team and try and do your best and try and manage the squad, so that you can be able, to get, good results. But in terms of expectations, to be honest, I never really expected that. But I had trust in the players. That's why I never really thought about making too many changes, because I knew what I have. I knew the kind of players which I have. I knew where we came from. The amount of work they've put in, for us to get to the final of the Confed Cup. I think the players, people didn't, realize that the players were running empty at that time. And when you lose a cup final like that, where you put everything in it, it sometimes, kind of like deflates you, and that's what happened last season to us. And I think from, if you're looking at it from the outside, you won't be able to see that. But as someone who's always been with them, I had to travel with them 20 hours, to go to Sudan, 20 hours coming back. And sometimes we got stuck, on the plane, mid-air, because we couldn't land when we were going to Liberia. It was a scary, those were scary, moments. But I was with them, and I know, what was going on and what happened during those days. So it was easy for me to, take it, and try and, work with them, knowing that it affected them also, in terms of confidence, mentally and emotionally. They were, physically drained as well. So my job was to try and revive that, and I knew how to do it, and I probably we seeing the results. Although we still have a long way to go, the season is still very young, and then we need to just stay humble and keep working. Thank you.